Here we go. It's time for Scoonie G's Daily Dose Podcast. Come on, y'all. Turn up. Who's with me? Yeah. Come on. Come on. On today's episode, we have Lori Tucker is in the house. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I love this song. Rick James in the house. Lucy. Another Scoonie G's Daily Dose Podcast. Yeah. Come on. I think I need a dance partner. Can I get a dance partner up here? I got a really cool dance partner. Not only a dance partner, but you've seen her in some of your most iconic videos in the world. Let me introduce you to my friend, Lori Tucker's in the house.
I'm not that mean.
It's so good to see you.
So good to see you too.
Thank you so much. Have a seat.
Oh,
your stink.
Your mind, your body, your soul, I will capture. Turn your out so good that you will have to lose control. Become infatuated for something exotic, erotic.
There we go. Wow.
Dance it out. Gotta do
Dance it
that.
out. Wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So good to be here.
It's so good to see you.
You too.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we already gave you an introduction, Lori Tucker.
I already pushed you.
Tell me a little bit about Lori Tucker. Where are you from?
I am actually a Valley girl. So I was born and raised in the San Fernando Valley here in the greater Los Angeles area. Born in Northridge Hospital. I'm one of 9 kids, so I have 6 brothers and 2 sisters.
That's a big family.
It's a big one. I'm number 6. So my parents had 5 kids, and then 5 years, and then they got amnesia, forgot they had 5 kids, and had 4 more. So I'm in the second set in the amnesia stage. So
that means your parents had to be hard workers, because to raise that many kids, you can't be lazy.
could you imagine that now?
Wow, nowadays.
I have 3. The third put me over the edge, and I stayed there.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, congratulations on that. Absolutely.
I'm over the edge.
You know what? I know it's very easy for me to just jump right into the iconic videos, right? That's what usually, I watch some of your other podcasts.
Okay.
And that's what they go
Fair.
straight to.
I watched yours. So.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You know.
We're going to save it.
Okay.
So why don't you take me back to that kid that grew up in the Valley. Tell me a little bit about your childhood. Let's get there.
Well, as I said, I was born in Northridge Hospital, and because we had such a big family, we would move into a house and kind of destroy it, and then move into another house, destroy that, and then an apartment. They never knew we had 11 people in the apartment. So it was a lot of, yeah. And, just the great thing about it was we did not have a lot of money. And in that, I mean that if you have no money, you had more than us, kind of thing. Okay. But we had a lot of love, and my parents were awesome, and they worked their butts off. But it was great having that many brothers and sisters, and my mom and dad loved different kind of music, and every bedroom in the house, or every room in the house, had different music coming out of it.
Wow.
And for me, that was, such a great thing, being, just hearing everything and not just one genre.
So we have that in common too. So kind of very similar to me. I had 2 parents, grew up 2 brothers and 2 sisters, and my dad was a big jazz enthusiast and loved listening to jazz.
Mine too.
And then my mom, she was more R&B, but the first time I heard the Beatles was in my home. So the sight of my parents to give us that kind of rounded approach to different genres of music, I think really helped us as we grew up. So there's your childhood, right? Take me through your teen years, the good old teen years when the hormones kick in.
So I was, basically my teen years were the 70s.
Okay.
That's telling on myself, but my teen years were the 70s.
So we're in the over 50 club. It's like, we like to call it the
we are in the over 50 club.
We're in the over 50 club.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Okay, and it's a good place to be.
It's a good place to be. It's an exclusive club.
We've done all that and
Been there, done that.
onward and upward, right?
There you go. And you look great, by the way,
Thank
for being in that club.
Same.
Come on now.
Come on. He's just walking around making us, the rest of us, look bad. Singing, dancing,
Oh my
podcasting, playing instruments and everything. But,
gosh.
your hard act to follow. But yeah, so grew up, my teens were in the 70s.
Okay.
And I started modeling. There was, do you remember Montgomery Ward's stores?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So they used to call Monkey Wards.
Monkey
and
Wards.
there was one, I'd take the bus. We took buses. We didn't, have our parents dropping us off at all, like I did with my kids. So we take the bus down to Montgomery Wards, and they had a little club called the Pacesetter Club. And you could, for $13 or $12, something like that, you could join it. And there was a girl named Wendy Ward. Well, she wasn't really her name, but that was the name. And then you would do these little classes, like how to sit and this. And they taught us tea room modeling. And then we would do tea room modeling in the cafeteria of Montgomery Wards and things like that. And then they had a Girl of the Month contest. And I won and became Miss June. And at the end of the year, they would have a Girl of the Year. And I didn't win the first year. First year was my friend April, who ended up being a DJ on KROQ later.
So did you catch that, what she said? I just caught something. She said, I didn't win the first year. Did you quit?
No, I went back.
There you go.
I think I was Miss July the next year. So, but so I won. But through that, they would, the photographers would show up, and they'd have some little celebrity judges, sometimes from a radio station or an actor or an actress, something like that, that they could get to come out. So I started doing testings with some photographers, and they would get some pictures for their book, and I would get some pictures for my book. And when I turned 17, I got an agent. I went in.
Wow. So that's a good span of time.
Yes.
And what I'm gathering out of that is that, would you say that the bug, kind of the modeling bug, bit you from that point at the beginning there at the Montgomery Wards?
Yes.
Okay. So she was bitten by the bug. And it didn't happen right away.
No, and I didn't grow into myself yet when I was 15. And, I started that when I was like 13.
Okay.
So 13, 14, 15, I was tall and super skinny and had to grow into my feet and my nose. And I didn't think I was going to be a model or think I could, really,
Wow.
But I did want to be an actress. My dad had been an actor when he came to Hollywood in the 40s and was a singer a little bit. So he had sent my brother and my younger brother, to Lee Strasberg's Theater Institute when I was about 15 and a half.
Right down the road.
Right down the road.
Here in
And we
Hollywood.
would take the bus for 2.5 hours to get from wherever we lived at the time in there. But it was an amazing experience. They had people like Gene Kelly came and spoke, and
Wow.
All kinds of great people would come on Monday nights. I don't know what my parents were thinking because we did have no money, and we couldn't afford it after a couple of months. So I went to my teacher there and said, I'm sorry, we can't come anymore. She said, no, wait, I'm going to talk to some people. And she called my dad and said they were going to put us on scholarship. So
Awesome.
that was really wonderful.
And let me just tell you why they did that. And I don't even know these people. They can tell by your energy, because I can tell by your energy, something is going to happen with this student that we have. It's not about the money. It's about the perseverance that you had, the 2.5 hour trek to get there, right?
Yes.
And you probably came in, you probably weren't complaining, you probably came in with a big smile. So perseverance, attitude play a big part in this entertainment business. Okay, sorry to
Well, I hope
interrupt
so.
you.
Thank you. At the time I was just shocked and overwhelmed, and they had us help with the kids. I was only 15, and they had me help with the kids' classes. So I would guide them in improv and things like that. And one of the students was a tall, lanky girl, much like myself, with a short bowl cut, and turned out to be Laura Dern.
Wow.
So she was about 10 at the time, I think, 10 or 11. Like I said, we didn't have a lot of money, but my dad would give us enough money to go a couple doors down to the pizza place. And there was a kid, get a couple pieces of pizza and a soda to split. And there was a kid, Jason, and he would always go with us. He never had any money. So we would divvy up our 2 pieces of pizza and keep, getting drinks. And one day we were walking down the stairs, my brother and I and Jason, and standing on the stoop talking, and a Rolls Royce pulls up. And with a driver, and he goes, "Oh, hey, that's my ride. I gotta go." So he ran downstairs, and the driver opened the door for him, and he got in, and ended up Jason Bronson, Charles Bronson's kid.
Wow. And you guys are buying slices of pizza for him.
And we continued to.
Yeah.
His dad didn't send him with any money, or at least any he was willing to give up.
That's
so
a great story.
Yeah, so,
Awesome.
yeah.
Okay, so we have that time period. We're going to
Yes.
go through this thing here. So, from the Lee Strasberg,
yes.
is that where you kind of would say you got discovered, or?
I would say once I got an agent when I was 17, the agent from Paris came and wanted me to come to Paris and for January, and it was getting to be December, and I wanted to be home for Christmas, so I have a big family, and that's a big important time for me.
Family first.
Yes, and so I went in January 5th with a Foot Locker full of all the wrong clothes because it's hot here in January, and it was about 30 degrees and 20-something degrees in Paris. So I had to wait till my first paycheck and my first job to get some clothes and a jacket that was right,
Wow.
But
and how cool was that your parents let you do that?
Can I tell you how much I went with?
How much?
$40.
$40.
But the agency talked to my parents and promised them that, and of course it was through my agent here, so it was legitimate, and promised them that I would be taken care of, my rent would be paid, I would be fed, and they would give me money until I started working, and then the agency would start to take the money back.
So it's like a per diem. It's like a $40 per diem.
So, yeah, and and in the agency apartment, they wouldn't let us call out because they knew, teenagers coming from America are going to just call mom and dad every day and charge up. So if we wanted to call collect, we'd have to go around the corner to the post office, and they had a big wooden booth to call collect.
Amazing. But you could take incoming calls.
But you could take incoming calls.
Yeah, because that other person's paying for it
Right.
at that point.
That's right. That's right.
That's
So,
amazing. So you went to Paris
Yeah.
and started doing the modeling thing.
Yes.
Right? And so that probably did that for a little while too. What would you say, give me a highlight of what happened with you in Paris?
First trip I got, which was to the French Alps in Les Deux Alpes for Adidas. I'm freezing. I'm freezing below 85 here. If it drops below 85, so that was a little bit of a shocker. But it was amazing to be flying in a little plane between the Alps.
Check this out. Come on
crazy.
now. 17, 18-year-olds like myself, we're in our neighborhood going to the local swimming pool.
That was me prior to that.
With our friends and going, yeah, this is great, right?
Yeah.
This young lady is in this Paris in the Alps.
And then God made up for it, and my next trip was to the Maldive Islands, which I have to say was my favorite trip ever, and the favorite place I ever went. Was in south of Sri Lanka and Ceylon, Colombo, and it was just a group of islands, and it took 24 hours to get there, like 3 airplanes, one 15 solid hour trip and a couple other trips, and then a boat, like a canoe boat almost, that carried the models. And we did it for a bathing suit company called Eminence, and we spent a week there, and it was amazing. Just you were on an island in the middle of the water,
I just got a visual of that. It's seeing
beautiful.
you doing that. What a great experience at such a young age.
Really, really a blessing to be able to do. And I think as a model, especially as a young person, to not be able to not only afford those kinds of trips, they sent you to places you would never pick. We're here, we'd go to Mexico. We're here, we'd go to Hawaii. So there, you'd be in Sardinia, Italy. You'd be in the Baden-Baden in the Black Forest. You'd be in Tokyo, you know. So they send you to some really unique places that you may never have a chance to go to.
Can you just give me an idea when you were there, if you could remember, what was your mindset? Were you scared, or were you more like thankful that you were in these positions? What was your mindset?
I think a combination of everything, but the fact that I got to go and I was, you know, my dad taught me to be very professional. He taught me to shake hands with everybody. He told me that work comes in cycles, so if you don't work a little bit, don't worry, it's gonna come back around. And to treat it as a business and not a lifestyle. You know, I didn't go to Paris to party. Did I go dancing all night? Yeah, sometimes. But I didn't, you know,
Wasn't the
party.
focus.
Yeah, it wasn't the focus. And it was a job to me, and it was a way to make money. And when you go to Europe, they have amazing magazines, amazing photographers. So you get the pictures from those in the hopes to come back to America and work and make money. Because here's where the money is.
So that already probably separated you from the majority. Nothing against models and people in the entertainment industry, but it's a very tempting
Yes.
business to be in because people want to offer you this and they want to offer you that. You're a beautiful woman. They want to do this and they want to do that. So it's really hard to keep that focus. The part that I got out of you is that your dad instilled that in you to work hard and do the right thing, and that carried with you. And so God bless your dad for teaching you that.
My mom and dad were very supportive, and I think, you know, when I was going on all my interviews here in Los Angeles before going, I didn't, you know, we had several cars in our backyard that were in several different levels of working order. So I would take a Pinto that I needed to put oil in every 2 miles. Oil would just go out. I had a 1960 Dodge van that he had back there that I would have to primer with gasoline in the front of the car. You'd lift it between the seats. And
Wow.
so and I would lug one of my little brothers and sisters with me down to Los Angeles or down to Santa Monica.
We call that building character.
That building character. And so I was so grateful. I knew that when I went, you know, I had to do the best that I could and be grateful to just not have to do that when I came back, hopefully, and, you know, make money to have a car and do my job. Because I did have a drive shaft fall out on the 405 once of that 1960s Dodge van when I got back from Paris before I got a car. Yeah. No cell phones.
No cell phones and drive shafts dropping out of cars. That's amazing.
That's a good one.
And imagine the person that came to help her, they were probably like, what the heck?
It was finally the police that pulled up behind me. I was in the fast lane, heading to an interview for a client from Paris that was doing a jeans commercial on roller skates, which I ended up getting. I don't know how, because I was late.
Dude, if I was in the seat of interviewing people for jobs, and you walked in, I would be like, that's the one right there. Yeah, because they can really tell by the energy that you have. You have a very centered type of energy. So people know that that's going to translate when they're filming you, and it's going to help sell their product. Because basically that's what you're doing.
You are selling a product.
You're selling a product, and you're a part of that yourself.
You are, and you are a reflection of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So congratulations on. So now
you're
in your adult years.
Yes. So I lived there a year. I came back for about a year and a half here. Was able to do a couple things and get my Screen Actors Guild card around the 2021 mark. Then I went back to Europe. An agent in Italy wanted me to go back. So I ended up spending 2.5 years. I was in Milano for about 10 months. Munich a year, Hamburg 6 months, a few months in Zurich, and of course doing some shows and things in Paris back and forth because I did do runway as well.
I just quit my job. She's talking about all of this stuff, and that's amazing. You're traveling like that.
Yeah, but you know what was so fun is a lot of the New York models would come in for Fashion Week in Paris and Milan. So I got to walk the runway with Iman.
Wow.
You know, and, you know, all the models, you know, the big models at the time would come out, and then all the runway models. And I always equated the runway models were very much like theater actresses. And the print models were more like television actresses. Okay. You know?
Rate my runway model. have a kind of a strut that they do, right?
He's got
Did you
the
learn
move
that?
you want to.
Did you
know
have to
better.
learn that strut? Did you have to learn that
a little
thing?
bit. Just watching, you can't dance.
Right.
I think a lot of girls, I've seen them go out and they want to.
Right.
Designers don't want you to go out there
Yeah,
and bop
no.
around,
No, they want you to
so
look
they want you to
cool.
look straight. And we
Yeah.
even call one of them's kind of the horse walk.
Horse walk.
So it's very.
Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. She got it. Damn. Hired. You got the job.
Oh, I hurt my knees though.
That's great. So you did that in your adult years.
So yeah, I got to do some fun runway, and
Okay.
then came back and pretty much concentrated. I was still modeling, of course, and then I started doing commercials, more and more commercials, which I love to.
Scoonie G's Daily Dose Podcast. Come on, y'all. Turn up. Who's with me? Yeah. Come on. Come on.